together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us. And remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Trudging Tuesdays. Yeah, we're here. There's a lot of little stuff that you have to do. Sometimes I forget to do it. Between a title and a picture and this. And then you need an outline. You need a description. It all lands differently at different places. Like Facebook's, they don't use titles. So you got to put the title of it in the beginning of the description so that it'll have a description and a title. Yeah. These little nuances for every single place. And they're all different. Instagram's different. TikTok's different. X is different. Substack is different, so, and they all require different size pictures and yeah. So think of that when people go live and do this. There's a lot of work that goes into it. All right. So not that anybody said anything. I just needed something to talk about before I really got started on this. We are talking about I fear no man, I fear no pain today. Well, in this one. And it's actually a line from a song. The song is by Live, right? And try to remember the name of the song. It'll come to me. Pain Lies on the Riverside. No, that's not. I think it's The Beauty of Grey. It's off their first album, though. Live was a pretty popular band back in the 90s. Their biggest hit was Lightning Crash. But their Throwing Copper album had a lot of hits. They're one of those bands where you're like, yeah, I don't know who they are. But if I played their music, you'd be like, oh, I know this song. I know this song. Oh, okay. I know who these guys are. Yeah, be one of those. They still play, but it's not the original band. And you know how it is. Bands split up and then the division starts and, and Ed Kowalczyk is one of my favorite singers ever. And I was able to meet him. I do not get starstruck. But with this man, I did. I don't know what it is about him that makes me nervous. It isn't really nervous. It's just, what do you say? What do you say? Your music really helped me out. I also got to meet my other favorite singer, which is J.R. Richards. He was in a band called Dishwalla. I got to meet him. He was playing at Herman's Hideaway, which is not that big of a venue. And I got back to the Red Room. For you those for Shining fans, Red Room, right? And I was about 4 years sober. I was still going through my PTSD anxiety stuff, so I did not stick around for the concert. But I did pay money to see him, and Herman's it was a hard place because I'd done a lot of party in there. I think I probably would have relapsed. But I gave him my 2-year chip. Now, I wasn't going to give him my 1-year chip, but because he helped me get through my 1 to 2 year. I was not able to get to AA. I had an anxiety attack at a little bit over. It was around there, about a year and a half. And for that year, the only music I listened to was Dishwalla because I found it spiritual. I found it connecting. And it kind of kept me close to God and the things that were important. Um, so I was able to give him my 2-year chip, which I thought was pretty cool. So, all right, it's weird because there's nobody here yet, but things are increasing. My the watches are increasing. It's not as fun when nobody else is here, but we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna do what we usually do. I had Roger McDermott on earlier. If you did not catch that one, I would recommend you go back and listen to that one. It turned out really well. Roger is so knowledgeable. I love listening to how he describes the program. I find it, oh man, it's the best way to put it. Enlightening is what we will call it. All right. So, you know what time it is. You know what time it is. I'll let you know why nobody, because my regular listeners are either traveling or they're picking people up. Yeah. So, no big deal. But you know what time it is? It is 2:12. But it is also time for Dion's Daily Funnies. Why don't I don't get why Marvel doesn't use the Hulk to advertise more. He's literally one big banner. Okay, soundtrack. Laughing at my soundtrack. What brand of underwear do scientists wear? Calvin Klein. Calvin Klein. Which days are the strongest? Oops. The reason that actually happened is I messed up my finger a while back, and sometimes my middle finger just twitches, and it hit the button. Well, it hit my other finger, and then it hit the button. So that was a little off. Which days are the strongest? Saturday and Sunday. The rest are weekdays. Week. Those weekdays. Did you know your pupils? Did you know your pupils are the last part to stop working when you die? They die late. They die late. They die late. Yes. How do cows stay up to date? They read the newspaper. All right. All right. Good stuff. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I am your host. Yes, I am. I'm your host. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. I'm getting a little sad that none of my friends are here. Somebody will show up eventually. All right. So what are we really talking about here? Well, we're talking about fear. And it's a pretty bold statement. People say, I fear no man and I fear no pain, but I really don't fear. There's not much that I fear anymore. I'm not saying I don't have fears. I have a fear of heights, but I don't even really do have a fear of heights, right? So, right, what are we really? So, right, let's see. Roller coaster, no. Sky ride, no. Rock climbing, sure. Get up on the roof, sure. Climb a tree, sure. It isn't that I have it's not that I have a fear of heights. I have a fear of not having control. That's the fear. That's the actual fear, right? So we're going to kind of take a look at some of these things. And it's a pretty bold statement to sit here and say, I fear no man, I fear no pain. Now, now this is not the fear of like, you know, like if I jump off the roof that I'm not going to break my leg. That's a healthy fear, right? It is these fears that drive us, right? In the beginning, right? In the beginning, a lot of my whole life was ruled by fear. Right. So, and the big book identifies fear as a root cause. It is not a side issue. It is the basis of almost all of my resentments. So, if I don't live in fear, then what happens is then I start to have more trust in my higher power. And my higher power's love language is trust. And the more trust I put in my higher power, the more courage I have to walk through things. Now, what are the fears in the beginning? What do fears drive? They drive resentment, dishonesty, self-protection, and they lead to relapse. A good one is the fear of people and economic insecurity. All right. Now, and that I think that's probably the hardest one that people go through that I see. Fear of people. Why would we have a fear of people? Right? Well, their opinions. We're scared to think what people might think of us. And sometimes we will not do something that has been asked of us to do, maybe by your higher power, but we don't follow through because we have fear of what other people might think. Hmm. All right. Now, this is a good example. Not nobody's here right now, and there's a little part of me that has a fear that my friends don't want to listen to me anymore, right? But see how it's already unfounded. But we go through these things, okay? It's like, yeah, and these are the things that we don't want to talk about because maybe they feel embarrassing. Just like all alcoholics get intrusive thoughts, but we don't like to talk about because we want we want other people we care what other people think about us. So let's talk about that a little bit. Do I care what people think about me? Yes and no. Okay. Do I care what my kids think about me? Yes, I do. Do I care what you think about me? Only in the sense that I hope you trust me enough and it only to the point where hopefully I'm helping. Yeah, right. But I already know that if you listen to me long enough, I'm going to say something that's probably going to tick you off. It's okay. We're still allowed to be friends. I'm not trying to drive anybody up. Besides, I don't even know you. Right. So, but I do not fear what other people think of me. Okay. And that had to do with my self worth. For the most part, no, I don't care what people think of me. At the same time, even when somebody confronts me with something and they do it incorrectly, I'm still taking things into account. You're going to meet my boundaries, right? But I'm still going to consider what you said because I also don't have the fear of pain because I understand that pain is the touchstone to change. And what I'm trying to do is change. The level of pain kind of depends upon me. What other fears will we have? Fear of consequences, fear of pain, discomfort, and loss. Fear drove drinking, control, manipulation, and avoidance. Alcohol was our solution to the fear. Yes, alcohol, what do we call it? We called it liquid courage. No. Now you've tried some liquid courage. Why don't you try the courage of God now? Try it. Just try it. Watch what happens. Okay. You wholeheartedly trusted the fact that alcohol was going to work for you. But then when we say, well, what about a higher power? Gosh, we just close our minds off to that. We literally worshiped alcohol We trusted it like it was a higher power, but we refused to think that maybe that there might be something bigger than us, even though you have no willpower over alcohol. That the only thing that took away your obsession. What do you think took away your obsession? It was God. I don't care who you are. God's the one that took the obsession. That's my opinion. But look at all the facts. That, I mean, hundreds and hundreds and thousands of years of facts on my side here. All right. And my experience. And my experience is fact. Right. How? So that was how fear ruled us in recovery. Okay. Fear tied to that self-reliance, self-dependence. I've never seen anyone get and stay sober in single-handed combat. I've not seen it happen. I see people running around. I'm going to fight it. Well, you're going to lose. Fighting is not the answer. Put up the white flag. Put up the white flag. Surrender. Don't surrender to alcohol. Surrender to a higher power. Surrender to the steps. Surrender to something else besides king alcohol. Because clearly alcohol is not working. Or you wouldn't be listening to me. You wouldn't be searching out videos to watch and listen to because you didn't want to be better. Right? It's not why you did that. Take it piecemeal. Do it a little bit at a time. That's how I did it. It's not like one day God was in my life and running everything. No, it took practice. And it took a lot of practice. Right? So the big book connects fear directly to self-dependence. When self fails, fear dominates. And then when fear grows, we try to run our lives ourselves. We try and run other people's lives. Actually, when fear starts cropping up, that's when we really start pointing the finger at other people. Oh, look at this. Look at that. Yeah. This is what I call distract with the right hand so you don't know what the left hand is doing. It's a trick. It's manipulation. So what is the answer to fear? And bringing it up, I'm sure you can answer yourself. What is the answer to fear? Well, work the steps. Number one, confront your fears. You don't have to do that alone anymore either. You are not terminally unique. Right? Terminally unique means that there's no one else in this whole wide world that doesn't have your problems. Okay? There's too many people in the world. But what does alcohol do? Well, alcohol separates us. It makes us think that. It makes us think that our life is the only normal one. As it say, self-delusionment is his lot. So, we do not eliminate fear by being tough. So it can make you tough by walking through fear, but I'd rather have courage than be tough. I already did the tough life. I already did that part. I don't need to. I'm a man. I'll take care of my. Yeah, I don't even fall for that anymore. I'm a man. Good for you. Because the Lord knows I certainly didn't act like a man. Okay. I acted like a freaking child. And I had to learn to grow up. Right. And these fears come down to one of two things: fear that I'm not going to get what I want or lose something I already have. Well, then, Dion, how could you have a fear of heights? Because I don't want to lose my life. It's a fear. So it is not done. Fear is not combated. You can't combat fear. You can walk through it. Absolutely, you can. Walk right on through that. And where I mean, you literally, if you're an alcoholic like me, the gates of hell wasn't anything. We kicked down the gates of hell and we walked through skipping. you You went to sordid places. You hung out in trap houses. You did all this other stuff. Don't tell me you don't have courage. You have it. It's what are you willing to utilize it for? Right? So when we go through these things, right? So I covered why I don't fear. I fear no man because we're all children of God. We're all even. Hi, Amber. I was starting to wonder if my friends hated me. I'm kidding. It's it's Christmas Eve. So yeah, everybody's. In fact, I think almost everybody I know is either picking somebody up, flying somewhere, right, right now. So why do I fear no pain? Because I've gone through a lot of pain. There's only one pain that I don't know about yet, and I'm not bringing it up here. It's personal. No, well, it's not that personal. If I lost my wife, it's a huge fear of mine. I don't know that I'd want to live without her. I don't know that I would. But it's not something I need to entertain either. Right? Now, what is that? Well, that is still it's self-created fear. I don't know what the plan is, right? Not only that, but if I'm living in that fear, then guess what? Then guess what? Then I'm not enjoying the time I'm having with these people today. Yeah. Amber says you're in my ear for now. We're about to go take Isaac to see SpongeBob up for Christmas. Ooh, yeah, when I say that all the way out loud. Oh, well, I'm in your ear, so that's okay. Okay. Almost blew it. Whoo, whoo. Missed it by that much, right? But, fear is an evil corroding thread. It create and you can see it everywhere. Just go scroll through the post. I mean, all I'm seeing on Facebook today is how everybody, all the politicians or most of the politicians in Colorado hate Trump because they won't give us FEMA money. That's not on him. It's a fear they're not going to get what they want because we know they're going to do something nefarious with it because that's what they've done in the past. See? Fear. Fear I'm not going to be elected, so I'm going to have to put down somebody else. It's all over the place. Almost every ad starts with fear. They create a fear, they create a pain. Don't listen to these recovery ones, where they start at we know the story. We know the story, and I'm sorry, but I don't feel bad for you about your story. What you went through. I went through it too. I know people who've gone through worse than me. Go listen to some of my story. You want to hear a story? Go listen to Leanna. Go to Podbean. Go to my Podbean. Put in Leanna and listen to that story. Okay. Then to tell me whether your life was good or not. All right. So, what is our answer? We do not eliminate fear through toughness. We don't deny fear. It is happening. It is a fact. Because when I can say, I have a fear, this is my fear of what's going to happen. Now we're confronted. Okay, well, why? Now I'm going to start to why myself. Why am I having that fear? Well, because I'm selfish and I want to keep this person in my life. It's an answer, right? So fear can also lead to the truth. And once we have the truth, we can do something about it. And isn't that what we're about? Aren't we a people of action now? Right? Yeah. We replace fear with trust in God. God will constantly disclose more to you and to us. Says it right on page 164. God will constantly disclose more to you and to us. They didn't, you know, because sometimes I hear people say, and I do agree with this, that any answer to any problem is in the big book. It's in there. but you're going to have to search for it. But it's in there. Sometimes it's seek outside help. But usually the answer is help another alcoholic, help another person. Service work is the best way to work through fear. All right. I have some fears coming for Christmas. Are they valid? No, because I ain't there yet. And I keep reminding myself, Dion, this year we're just going with a good attitude. You don't need anything else. So we don't need to worry about it now, do we? Nope, it's in God's hands. And I trust God. I trust that God will give me the right thoughts, the right actions to be a good person that day. All right. It's been hard for me in the past to do Christmas. I get triggered. But now that I went and I worked on my triggers, got my own bullshit together, I got my own stuff. All right. Now it's starting to work. That took me 8 years. Okay? And a lot of hard work. Right? So, what about that fear inventory? Did you do a fear inventory? Did you list your fears? Did you examine how they affected your life? Did you see how your fear was connected to your self-reliance? And did you turn your fear over to God? Because that's where it belongs. There are healthy fears, okay? Like, don't put your hand on a hot stove or you're going to get burnt, okay? There's healthy ones, but the fears that block us from the sunlight of the spirit are the things that we need to work on, okay? We can't put our hands on a hot stove expecting God to keep us safe when we're clearly utilizing human will, okay? So, if you think the big book is going to promise you a fear-free life, you are incorrect, because without fear, we don't have pain. And without pain, we don't have growth. Okay. There does come a time, and there will be some situations where pain is not required. I call this prevention. That means taking care of the problem before it happens. Doesn't mean what ifing. Okay. That's not what that means. Right. It's the opposite of a lurking notion. A lurking notion means, oh, I can drink if this situation happens. Right. It's kind of the opposite of that. If I'm in this situation, I'm allowed to leave if I want to. I have an escape route. I have this. Right. You've been listening to a lot of preventative measures when it comes to the holidays. We talk about them this time of year incessantly, meaning a lot. It's one of the reasons I'm glad the holidays are over, because then we can get back to our regular topics. So I fear no man. Fear of people is identified as destructive. Okay. And when I fear other people, I'm seeking approval. And I don't need approval from other people. Not anymore. See, that approval seeking can lead to fear. Okay. And what is that? Well, it's me predicting the future. I know I'm not going to get it from them, but yet I tend to expect it, right? Humility and God dependence free us from people pleasing. And it isn't even really people pleasing, it is the violence that other people have. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. I fear no pain. Why? Because pain is part of living. And when I drank, I was avoiding pain at all costs. At all costs, even the cost of my own life. But yet I was causing my own pain, the shakes, the headaches, the hangovers. And that's just the physical. Okay. Then we got emotional, mental, and spiritual things that happen to us. It's a mess. I used to hurt from head to toe all the time when I was drinking. And alcohol numbed me and I wouldn't have to feel it. I joke around that I was never sick. I don't remember being sick while I was drinking. Was it because I was too drunk to notice? Or was it because I drank so much alcohol that I was just disinfected from top to bottom, right? All right, alcoholics, we avoid pain at all costs. The big book teaches us acceptance, not avoidance. We can face discomfort sober and grounded. Yeah. So as we wrap this up, what does freedom from fear look like? Less reactivity. I'm not as reactive because I'm not worried about whether I'm going to get something or not. More peace because I'm not putting unreasonable expectations on other people because I do not have a fear of whether they like me or not. Greater honesty, and this is an internal honesty. Yes, I do have that fear. Now, men, we don't want to admit our fears because then it makes us look weak. I'm going to tell you something, men. The more fear you face, the less weak you will be. In fact, not facing your fears is the weakest thing that you could do. Ignoring them or acting like you don't have them. Denial is the worst of the worst. That'll hurt you more than any of the other parts, right? You have greater confidence and you have a willingness to face life. So here's some facts. Here's some truths. Fear never removed alcohol, or alcohol never removed that fear. It just it made you forget about it for a little while. That was it. But the fear was still there. And then it festers and comes back twofold. Okay. Fear is removed by trust and action. So God, not bravado, is the source of courage. Right. So I fear no man and I fear no pain because fear no longer runs my life. My wife does. All right. All right. All right. I have a podcast in about 2.5 hours. So if you could all, pray that I have the right words. Let's say their last podcast, they're like, we don't get too many men that, really speak their feelings. Oh man, they have no idea what they're getting into. I love telling my story. I'm really good at it. So now that I've said that, I can throw a dash of humility on it. Yes, I'm really good at it, but only because God has given me that gift. It's the only reason. So thank you, God, for giving me the gift to be able to help other people. Thank you. And thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. Peace out. All right. Peace out. And keep on trudging.